Hello, and welcome to my crib. There are a few things I wanted to discuss today, some of which are housekeeping related, and some of which are decidedly not. Part 1, I have officially embraced the fact that I look like a 5-year-old. Might as well accept it. There's not much we can do about that. Part 2, I realized that we have not really acknowledged the fact that running a YouTube account of any kind is going to take a significant amount of organization. So, henceforth, you will release videos on Tuesdays and I will release videos on Saturdays, and if we miss a video, something will happen. Which brings me to my next order of business. Punishments. Our options for punishments will be fairly limited for the foreseeable future because of coronavirus, but don't worry, there are still tons of humiliating things that we'll have to do if we miss a video or an upload henceforth. Okay, part 3. Talia rants about things. Lately, I've been pretty frustrated by some of the goings-on in the world. Specifically, people's inability to have a conversation with those whose beliefs differ from theirs in any kind of microscopic way. I'm talking politics, religion, gender identity, sexuality, anything, any identification that people use to define themselves in the world. If we're going to progress significantly as people and as a country and as a united planet, we're gonna need to find some way to overcome that communication barrier that a lot of us seem to have, myself included. No one is perfect at this, but I have to say, some people are absolutely terrible at it. I took 2 political science classes last year with a teacher who really encouraged us to debate in that class, but only under the condition that we assumed good faith about the other person in said debate. And we were able to acknowledge that, it was the other person's personal experience which had led them to have such different beliefs from us. He really discouraged us from saying we believed in things expressly because we belonged to a certain group of people with a certain set of beliefs, and instead really wanted us to explain why we had come to those beliefs from a purely logical standpoint. And the debates we had in that class were amazing. That's not to say that there were some missteps here and there, but for the most part, they were respectful and mature, and we learned so much about the other people's perspectives just from having an open dialogue with someone different than us. And we walked away from those experiences much more willing to engage in conversations with people who had entirely different life philosophies than we did. The thing that we had to do to get to that point was to accept the fact that our views were not the only views. This, for some people, is the hardest thing to do, because obviously when you have a belief, you believe it, you think that it's true, you want it to be true. And ultimately, we have to recognize as human beings that we don't know everything, and we have no idea what there is to still discover about all of the things that we think we have some kind of solid understanding of. But the problem that the United States is facing right now is that very few people are willing to acknowledge that our opinions are just that, which is opinions. Sure, they may be based in fact, but they're certainly unique to us. And within each argument, there are millions of slight nuances that could cause any one side of a debate to splinter into multiple subcategories of that side of an argument. I don't think we're totally hopeless, though. I think what happened in that classroom can happen anywhere as long as we're willing to try to stay humble and communicate with each other. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you when you upload.